Ever feel like a cold-hearted when you set boundaries? Then watch this video as we'll look at where this feeling comes from and how to stop feeling mean and cruel just because you say no. Hello, darling soul, and welcome. I'm Carolyn, and I partner with horses to help you, the empath, get out of your head, into your heart, and awaken to your true power. This is one I hear all too often from the sensitive souls I work with who dearly love to help others and want to make others happy without making waves. If I say no to something because I don't have the energy, time, or capacity for it, then I feel like I'm being a Let's dig deeper into why we feel the need to say yes to everything that everyone wants and expects of us, and why it feels weird and selfish to give ourselves any amount of consideration. So let's take a closer look, first at where this feeling comes from, and then at what needs to shift within ourselves in order to say no loud and proud without automatically feeling cold and cruel. Before we start spiraling into the rabbit hole of guilt and anxiety that immediately washes over us when we try to set a boundary or even just think about it, we need to pull the emergency brake by asking a very important question. Is it true? Is it true that I am a cruel and mean-spirited individual? I'm guessing probably not. So it's really important to slow yourself down, take a deep breath, and get curious instead of getting anxious. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. So if it's not true, then where does this notion come from? That if I say no to someone's request or no to someone's behavior, that makes me a horrible person? How the heck does that make sense? Well, it doesn't. So then why do we still feel that saying no makes us mean? Well, we've got a lot of societal and familial patterns to shed here that say, good little children do what they're told. So this creates an unspoken rule that to be good equals saying yes without question. Therefore, saying no equals misbehaving, being defiant, being bad. So energetically sensitive people will want to create harmony in their environment. And so that means a lot of empathic children learnt that in order to not make waves, you must go with the flow, even if that means going against what feels right for you. Say yes, even if you don't mean it. Say yes, even if you can't take it. Say yes, even if you can't give it. Say yes with your words, even if your entire being wants to say no. And what happens when our words do not match our energy? We get confusion, chaos, anxiety. We get disharmony. We get dissonance. We get toxicity in our relationships. All because the language we use, our words, can be very different from our energy. But here's the thing. When language is removed, as it is with animals and young children, all that remains is our energy. It cannot be manipulated with words. A hungry lion is a hungry lion. It would actually be deadly out in the wild if a hungry lion walked up to a herd of horses and pretended it wasn't hungry. That congruence between the inner and outer energies, that clarity of I am hungry, therefore I will look and act and tell you that I'm hungry, is of service to the horses. That is not cruel. That actually helps them because now they know how to respond. Now they know they got to get the heck out of there. Clarity in the natural world is helpful. And covering up, cloaking, disguising how they actually feel would be cruel. the horses would never have a chance. And yet here we are in the human world, covering ourselves up with cloaks and masks to disguise what's going on inside for us. Carrying around that confusion and anxiety-inducing incongruence between inner and outer becomes toxic to our own system and to our relationships. And isn't that kind of mean? Once we break down the illogical, unspoken societal agreement where yes equals I'm being nice and no equals I'm being mean, and saying yes even if you actually want to say no, then we can take it even further and bring this very confusing premise to the horse world and see that it's actually exceptionally harmful. You need to start to let go of these rules that make no sense. You need to let go of suppressing your authentic self to keep everyone else happy. And finally, you need to let go of unhelpful and toxic ways of being. This certainly does not make you a bitch. Quite the opposite, in fact. This makes you a badass, standing up for healthier ways of being, standing up for clarity and harmony within your relationships, standing up for your truth, and perhaps even being a model for others to do the same. To reframe the idea that being helpful and caring is setting boundaries around your capacity, saying no when you don't have the capacity, saying yes if you do, having clarity around that and communicating it. That is helpful. Just like we said with the horses, now they know how to respond. So maybe they need to ask someone else. Maybe they need to figure it out for themselves and then feel empowered by that. Caring does not mean carrying. It does not mean let me carry everything so that you don't have to, so I don't feel bad, so you don't get mad. But in reality, I don't really have the capacity to do it because it's getting really, really heavy. But I won't actually say it, I'll just think it. Yet wonder why you don't know and then get really angry and resentful because you keep asking me to carry more, even though I never told you I couldn't possibly carry anymore. How ridiculous is that? Caring does not equal carrying. Carrying more, taking on more than you are able or willing to, and then sending mixed messages around that, that's being mean. Caring from a place of clarity around your capacity, that is kind. So throw out that old B word and replace it with new ones, boldness and bravery, because that's what it takes, the spirit of the warrior to fight for something better. Just because that was an acceptable social agreement for previous generations doesn't mean it's acceptable now. And just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. And just because someone may object to you standing up for yourself doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If you know that you are coming from a place of compassion, which means caring enough about yourself to only take on what you have the capacity for, and caring enough about others to clearly let them know yes or no around that capacity, and then letting that be enough. Staying within your sacred bubble of responsibility, knowing that's all your job is. Your job is not to venture out into their bubble and control their reaction. I hope this video helped you reframe the notion of being a bitch if you set a boundary. If you'd like to dive deeper into how to set boundaries that are loving and empowering, then my upcoming program, Beautiful Boundaries, might be just what you need. You can click on the link below, sign up for the waitlist, and be notified first when the course opens up. Now I'd love to know, what or who will you boldly and bravely say no to, knowing that your clarity is the kindest thing you can do? Let me know below. It means so much to me to hear from you. And be sure to join my Facebook group, the Gentle Warrior Collective, to find support from big-hearted empaths just like you. And as always, if you received any benefit from this video, please show it some love by giving it a like and click subscribe so I can continue to create more videos to support you with getting out of your head, back into your heart, and awakening to your true power. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.